Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Disqualified. I am Trevin, joined as always by Caleb.
Hola!
No, Zach, I get I was on B with it, but he is being a mentally healthy man and going to therapy.
I don't think that was the appointment, but it is an appointment nonetheless. But we are here to talk about last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. And don't adjust your sets. You are seeing this correctly. I am your predictions champion. If you did not catch the Elimination Chamber review episode, Trevin got 1 point and I've got 3.
Yep.
So this is home with me on this side of the table where it
Yep.
belongs.
Until Mania.
Nope, you think that. I know I'm keeping it longer. But this was a slightly jam-packed episode of Raw.
Yeah.
Most of it coming towards the end.
Yeah.
But we did start off with a firecracker of a segment.
Yep. We got Pipe Bomb 2 Electric Boogaloo with no other than the original Pipe Bomber CM Punk.
Yeah, he comes out, understandably.
Pissed.
Yeah, pissed, upset. He takes aim at Dwayne, calling him a bald-headed fraud.
Yup.
He takes aim at John Cena, saying that he's finally confirmed what he's thought for the past 20 years, that Cena's been selling these people bullshit.
Yep. Also calling him a bald-headed fraud.
Yep, and then taking shots at CM Punk.
Or Seth.
Or Seth,
Yep.
He calls out Becky Lynch, telling her to come get her man.
Or else I'm gonna come get him and put him in a wheelchair.
And then here comes Seth Rollins.
Down, doing his little dancey dance, but gets like 5 seconds of his dancey dance before CM Punk decides to squabble up.
Yeah, Punk cuts him off at the pass, and they come to blows.
Yep, for a brawl that involves 10 security guards, like 4 refs, and Adam Pearce himself to try to separate them. This brawl lasts like your average 10-minute opening block.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the show, they continue to brawl until eventually, later in the show, Seth confronts Adam Pearce, being like, listen, you know what I want, you know what Punk wants, you know what the people want. Do your job. And Pearce is like, do my job. Do my job? All right, fine. Next week, it will be CM Punk, it will be Seth Rollins in a steel cage match.
This is not where we see this end. Some chicanery is gonna happen.
Yes.
So somewhere somehow this match is gonna have an inclusive ending. My personal theory is that it's Roman stopping the match because it's gonna be at Madison Square Garden, but we shall see.
Yep. Because my hope is that CM Punk inserts himself into a triple threat in the Cody match, and we still get Seth and Roman this Mania.
But speaking of seeing, what you see for a majority of this night are just flashbacks to Elimination Chamber. So that is about how long would you say? About 15 minutes of screen time?
Yes, that it takes up a decent chunk of this episode of Raw.
Yep. People obviously going crazy about the Cena heel turn.
Yup.
I still think it was one of the best, most unpredictable heel turns that I've seen personally.
Yeah, no. It was so well done in terms of making Cena look like a villain, but also, as you said, like completely out of nowhere. Like the internet was being like, you know what? Cena doesn't have to win it at Mania. He doesn't even have to win the Chamber. We even fell for the trap of, Cena probably ain't winning Chamber. He hasn't won a singles match yet.
And now it's after you turn him heel. There's no way he's losing at Mania.
No.
You ride this momentum until he'll probably get snapped out of it by, I want to say November.
Yeah.
And then they'll probably do a special themed pay-per-view around him.
Yeah, for in December it being his last month.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just see that. Yeah, it's just a lot of repackaging of what happened last night. So moving on to the first, other than the Punk and Rollins
Yep,
promo, the
after
first fresh thing.
yeah, after the pipe bomb, we, as we do what seems like almost every Monday, cut to the Judgment Day clubhouse.
You're gonna say Playhouse.
I almost did.
Yep. So we see, we finally get a glimpse into what Carlito's Apple Bowl is, and it's just a hard hat.
Yeah, it is a bowl of one color except for the one apple he grabs, which is a different color.
Yep. We see Finn, like, very upset on the couch,
contemplating,
and then we cut to Dom, Liv, Raquel, and Carlito.
Yep.
All standing at the TV.
Yep.
Talking.
Yep. Liv and Raquel holding their fresh gold.
Mm-hmm. Like me.
Yep. And they're happy with they're happy with each other. They're like doing a little mini celebration. Then they look over at Buzzkill Finn and being like, "Hey yo, Finn, you good?"
And Finn's like, "Oh, I'm fine. Never been better."
Yep. Especially because I did embarrass myself last week in front of the crowd against Braun Breaker.
And then Dom brings up a great counterpoint of, "Hey, we might have gotten beaten up, but you're the one that ran away when you had a steel chair in hand."
Yep.
So.
And he says, and he's like, "Look, that would have been a perfect spot for another member to come from behind." And Finn's like, "No new members." And the audience is like, "When's the new member?"
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said this before. I still don't know who fits the Judgment Day's current aesthetic. People are saying or not people. I'm thinking maybe Roxanne. But I don't want to see Roxanne in the Judgment Day. I want to see Roxanne do her own thing. But
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, but Finn then says, like, "Listen, tonight I'm gonna call out Braun Breaker, try to get some of this stuff settled."
Mm-hmm.
And we will see that later. But
like later.
Yes. I almost forgot that the segment was happening later.
Mm-hmm.
But your opening match, after commercial break, we see the Alpha Babes in the ring. And I'm like, who the F they fighting?
And then it occurs that, oh yeah, he's fighting Gunther.
Yeah. And we're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, so it is Otis v. Gunther. Gunther comes out cutting a promo saying if Otis had some self-respect, he could probably be somewhere in this business. But seeing as he has zero, he's perfectly content in his lot.
Yep. And then before the bell rings, mic still in hand, Gunther decides to, out of nowhere, big boot the snot out of Otis.
Yep, and we get, I was gonna say, a fairly decent level of offense from Otis, but no, it's just a big old squash match.
Yeah.
Every time Otis starts to get some bit of offense, it gets cut off immediately.
Yep. Either through a chop or a boot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a very elongated squash, not extended, because I consider extended the opponent getting some offense in, but Otis didn't really get much offense in.
Yeah, and then after the win by Gunther from a power bomb.
Yep, for the 1, 2, 3.
He starts putting Otis to sleep.
Yep, and then Akira, trying to save his buddy, gets a rear naked on Gunther, only to get
powerbomb onto Otis.
Yep.
And then Otis was going to get powerbomb onto Tozawa.
Yep, which would have been bad.
And here comes main event, Jey Uso.
Yep.
He runs down to the ring, and they get into a bit of a scrappy fight.
Yep. Yeah, no. Gunther had a decent advantage because he knows how Jey enters the ring through the slide, so he was there to meet him with a stomp.
Mm-hmm.
But Jey, brilliant double leg takedown. Brawl ensues. they get separated. But then I completely forgot this feud was happening, but A-Town Down Under decides to sneak attack Jay. Alpha Academy helps with some separation, only for Gunther, after Jay's a little out of breath, to come in from behind and put him to sleep.
Yeah, listening to the not disqualified, the Cultaholic lads this morning, they were talking about how this does not feel like a world heavyweight title field going into Mania
No.
with Alpha Academy and A-Town Down Under being in the mix.
No.
I feared that this was going to lead to a 6-man tag next week, but it's
Nope.
just a one-on-one.
Yep, between Grayson Waller, who got super kicked the week prior to this one, and Jay.
Yep.
Thank heavens.
Yep, but there's still 5 weeks, I believe, for there to be a 6-man tag thrown in somewhere, and I just don't really want to see it.
No. I don't think Gunther wants to tag with A-Town.
Oh boy, that would be terrible for this reign.
Yes.
Gunther teaming with A-Town Down Under.
No discredit to A-Town, but mate, the vibes of that tag team and Gunther, no.
Also, just Jay having to pull an insane carry job. But that's neither here nor there.
No. As I mentioned last week, also in our review episode as well, this is a filler feud.
Oh, yeah. It's very much a filler feud. Give Jay something to do. Very much like the Nia stuff is going on with Tiffany right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just give them something to do. Give them some big matches.
I mean, even last year with
win.
Rhea versus Becky, we saw Nia versus Becky being a filler feud to one, make Becky look strong after her multitude of breaks, and also just to again give someone something to do before their huge Mania match without constant promo work against their opponent.
Yeah, but so we'll see Jay v. Grayson next week.
Yup.
Can't wait to see how Gunther absolutely decimates Jay, but skipping further ahead into the show, just capping off the Jay Uso stuff, he was talking to, I believe it was Kathy.
Yeah.
And he said pretty much, crash out, Jay is coming back.
Yep.
So run for the hills.
Yep. He walked into the New York winter with no shirt on. He was that pissed off.
Oh, boo-hoo. I've seen people in Wisconsin do this shit.
I'm just saying that that's a bold move and definitely a statement of like, listen, I get it's like 15 degrees or lower outside, but I'm pissed.
Oh yeah, he sure did do his quick ass run to a heated SUV probably. But we move on to
next up, after some of the promo stuff we conglomerated together, we get Kathy interviewing none other than the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
Sorry, I was gonna do it, but then a yawn got me.
Yep.
And just like that yawn got me, Karrion Kross appears out of nowhere and gets AJ Styles.
Yep.
Pretty much AJ gets asked about the Cena heel turn, and he goes, "Wow, no one saw that coming." And Karrion Kross just comes up out of nowhere. Well, I mean, you could see it if you actually listened to me.
Yep. And then they have a little talk about how AJ recognizes that Karrion's trying to be a devil on the shoulder to everyone. And I forget the quote AJ dropped to be like, is like, I'm not partnering with you, but I'm paying attention to you. Yeah, it was like, oh, frick. I forget the exact line. It was like, Heaven hath no shadow or mirror, something like
I
that.
have no idea.
No.
Zach was talking to me
Yeah.
during this promo.
Yeah, it was a hard bar, but basically, Karrion was smiling because he finally has someone actually listening to him instead of ignoring him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. AJ's in nowhere means partnering with Karrion, but AJ is still acknowledging that, like, Karrion has some good points, but he's kind of a douche about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Major douche alert.
Yeah, but AJ decides he's going to take some action, possibly follow some Karrion advice, and next week call out Logan Paul for a quote-unquote open challenge. See if Logan can back up all the smack about showing up to work, being able to put on banner after banner, so on and so forth. Generic Logan Paul promo stuff here.
I want to see Karrion murder Logan. That's just me. That's just me. Maybe not.
Yep. And your very next match is your women's IC title match, which includes your champion, Lyra Valkyria, and the challenger representing American Made, trying to get gold before Master Gable comes back, Ivy Nile.
Don't let my levels of fatigue fool you. This match absolutely fucking cooked. I'm just exhausted because it's a gloomy day.
Yes, it is raining outside and it has been cloudy all day. We have
raining cats and dogs.
Yeah, we have not received much vitamin D from the sun today.
Perks of living in the Midwest during winter.
Yes.
So, this match cooked. It's a lot of it started with Ivy picking apart the leg.
Yep. Legitimately, we looked at each other being like, I'm scared this is a legit injury.
Hey, man. Props to Lyra for having the trust to do most of those fucking moves.
Yes. Because, I legit commented during the match being like, Lyra, physically, are you okay? Ivy, mentally, are you okay?
There was one submission. It was an ankle lock that Ivy had on Lyra. And she had it, first of all, twerking the ankle pretty fucking good. Like, okay, like if this wasn't like a worked thing, that's painful. And then as Lyra is crawling forward, balance gets unshuffled. Ivy falls forward. Bending the knee, bending the leg, putting all that weight on that central limb, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
The submission game from Ivy and the striking game from Lyra, on point. When the internet community predicts that a match is going to be a quote unquote bathroom break match, like this match was in the internet's eyes, don't believe them. Those matches usually cook.
Oh yeah, and then Lyra picks up the win with a Nightwing for the 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
And what I was thinking, so is someone going to come jumper to get a Mania spot? And nope. Just cut straight to Cole and Pat talking about more Chamber highlights.
Yep. Yeah, for both women's mid-cards, their Mania stuff is still a question mark, but we have a little more than a month to still build it up. That's an eternity in wrestling time.
Oh yeah, that is an eternity in wrestling time. That is for certain. Especially with this week with so much going on in at least WWE's wheelhouse. They have Raw last night, NXT tonight, Evolve tomorrow, a break. A break Thursday.
WWE hasn't taken anything on Thursday yet.
And then you have
SmackDown Friday,
LFG Sunday.
Yep.
Which that's not like a live thing, but that's still a thing that's going on. They have been renewed for season 2, so they're probably going to start filming that soon.
Yeah.
But
and Sunday is also WWE's docu-series day. Pick your docu-series. Whatever season it's on, they release a new episode.
And then you got Raw in Madison Square Garden on Monday, so
Yo.
Very, very, very busy week. Or, I mean, Thursday, it's not their day of wrestling, but it's TNA's day of wrestling, and some people are going to show up there, so.
Yep, because of their partnership with WWE NXT.
Yep.
So WWE has kind of taken over Thursday, but not officially.
But that's a whole lot of action. But tell us what's the next bit of action we see on our screens.
Speaking of American made, the very next match, still attempting to bring home gold for Master Gable to see, is the Creed brothers challenging your tag champions, the War Raiders.
And they said, we're going to go to war, but we're going to do it with those tag ropes, pal. It's a normal tag team match.
Yup.
Very boring. I mean, the match itself, not boring. The stipulation, boring.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
this match still cooked.
A little sneak into next week. A little sneak peek into next week. We're getting a tornado tag between LWO members Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio versus the New Day. Why couldn't have this match been a tornado tag?
Or some sort of Extreme Rules stipulation.
Because if you say we're going to war, I don't expect there to be the little tag ropes attached to the turnbuckles. But
heck, steel cage. Some Viking version of Donnybrook.
Yeah, but hey, this match cooked. It was the shouldn't say the Viking Raiders. No.
War Raiders.
War Raiders
Yep.
versus the Creed brothers. Pretty much what you expected to happen.
Yep, but the Creed brothers decided this was the match they're gonna pull stuff out of their bag.
Yes, they did.
With Julius
hitting a shooting star press.
Yup.
But all of that was in vain as why do I keep wanting to say the Viking Raiders? The War Raiders pick up the win.
With their War Machine finisher.
Yep. And pretty much moving past American Made.
Yep.
But we'll just lump this next thing in because it is American Made centric.
It was also the very next promo.
Yeah. We finally get some confirmation on what Chad Gable has been doing.
Yep.
So
we see
a vignette.
Yep, that he is currently wandering the streets of Mexico.
Yeah, and he's talking to locals. He's saying, do you know where to find this man? Do you know where to find this man? And
eventually he finds who we assume is the man.
An old man. I'm thinking like old sing-song type beat.
Poncho and long gray hair and all.
Yeah, and he's talking to Chad Gable and he's like, you can't simply learn the ways of Lucha. You must become Lucha.
And hands him a crusty old cardboard box.
It looks like you put a fragile sticker on it and USPS said, fuck that sticker. And threw that motherfucker around.
But before he hands it to him, he's like, payment though?
Yeah, payment. And then he hands him money. More. And then he hands him the box.
And Chad opens the box, but the audience does not get to see what's inside. The internet is memeing that we're going to see the return of El Generico.
Okay, but here's the thing. On social media, today on Twitter while I was scrolling by, I saw Chad in his singlet holding the box, head cut off. He is going to... We're getting Mr. America back. We're getting Mr. America back pretty much, which was Hulk Hogan's character in 2002, 3 on Raw? No, on SmackDown. But no, hey, it is what it is. When we said Dark Arts, I thought we were going to see Alistair, but no. Also, in other news, because we are talking about Lucha.
Yup.
Fresh off of the sheets, Rey Fenix
has been released
from Guantanamo Bay. He has been released from AEW,
And reports say he is already in contract discussions with WWE.
They've already been making creative for him. So it's looking to see how we are going to get a Lucha Brothers match at Mania. And somehow I just want to see it be with Motor City Machine Guns. Give me that match and let them cook.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Take my money.
Yep. But
take my title. Just take something.
But speaking of the Lucha Bros, we see Ludwig Kaiser walk in, demanding the audience's gratitude like he usually does, but also saying, like, you should also be thankful that I have given Penta for his loss. His ego was getting hecka big, and I'm here to silence him once and for all.
And that man said, fuck out of here. I'm going to come out here dripped out, head to toe, and beat your motherfucking ass. And that's exactly what Penta did.
Yup.
So before he came out, he said, you might be the man who fears nothing, but I will be the man that teaches you fear. And then Penta comes out and he says,
You funny.
You funny. You should be a comedian, Ludwig. And proceeds to just
beat the brakes off him.
He hits a somersault plancha to the outside and sends the crowd home.
Yep.
I mean, not home. This isn't the main event, but sends the crowd home in this segment.
Yep. And then for us US audience, you didn't see this unless you use a VPN, but during the commercial break, we get an interview segment with Braun Breaker talking about how on top he is as an IC champ, and then we come back from commercial break to what we all get to see of Finn Balor in the middle of the ring interrupting this promo that Braun Breaker is having up in the concourse. And Finn's basically saying, the only reason why you're still IC champ is because the Judgment Day has let you stay IC champ. If you claim you're so dominant, why don't you come down here right now and prove you're so big and bad against me?
And Braun just said, okay. He said, shit, you ain't have to tell me twice. So he promptly leaves the concourse, walks down so calmly, so serene.
And then Carlito for him out of nowhere.
A wild Carlito appear, and then he says, choo-choo time!
Yep. Braun Breaker takes care of him handily. Approaches the ring, get all the way to the post. A wild Dom appears. Dodge,
throws him out the way.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Finally enters the ring to Sling Blade from out of nowhere.
Yeah, Finn starts getting the upper hand.
Yep.
Braun gets a bit of separation.
Yep.
He starts going for the spear, and Finn gets dragged out by Dominic.
Yep. This is after Finn loses some air in his lungs from getting gorilla press tossed.
Yep. And then, in the commotion earlier that we did not discuss, Carlito goes over the barricade.
Yep. And Braun, a little upset that Dom and Finn are leaving so soon, but he's like, wait a minute. There was 3 of you.
Carlito slowly rises. He climbs over, and Braun just goes,
choo-choo!
And spears the brakes off of that man.
Yup.
And thus ends your segment.
Yup.
So we might be getting Braun Finn as a warm-up match going into Mania. It might be a multi-man match going into Mania, but I don't think we see Braun as champion past Mania. I think we see Braun go on to do better things.
I think if he doesn't lose it at Mania, he might lose it at Payback.
Nah, I just see them going straight, get it off him, get him in the world title picture because we need more faces.
Yeah. Fix your mistake of last year that led to him going after the IC title of putting him in the King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have him as the Raw Rep finalist or?
Probably, depending on what the picture is looking like.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, beforehand, I was really in. Before seeing it turned heel, you had me going with him winning the King of the Ring. But I just don't know who he would represent because he's a free agent.
Yeah.
But we shall see.
Yeah.
Is this
And
the
now,
moment we've all been waiting
yes,
for.
and now since we conglomerated a lot of the promo stuff, we move on to your main event.
Your Women's World Championship match. First, we see Bianca Belair come out and sit ringside.
Yep.
And now enters your challenger, Io Sky.
Doing their little transition from game renders to IRL.
And she looks scuffed in the game.
Little bit.
But moving beyond that, we'll talk about the game a little more once we get past the segment.
Yes.
But then the woman of the hour herself, your
Rhea.
Women's World Champion, Rhea Bloody Ripley, makes her entrance. And then we get on with the match. And
Yep.
the beginning of this match was very much Io taking it to Rhea.
Yep. Io, definitely known as a speed blitzer, was like, I need to exhaust Rhea as quickly as I can because she is a powerhouse. Even if she is running on fumes, she can beat the brakes off me.
Yep. And then we see them transition to the outside of the ring, and that's where Rhea gets the upper hand and starts making her comeback. And then we cut to commercial break because it's
A weekly.
fucking weekly. But then we come back from commercial break, missing possibly one of the cooler parts of the evening.
Missile drop kick
Missile
from Rhea.
drop kick. Io, when she sold it, when she bumped, she fucking. It was fucking hilarious.
I want to know how we also saw this a little bit in the Lyra match of how do these women stars know how to bounce?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something with the ring. I don't fucking know. These motherfuckers can get bounces.
Yeah, it's like you know Javon Evans, that boy bouncy, but when it comes to taking a bump, woman superstars are bouncy.
Yeah, and then we just see Rhea continue to mount the offense, and then we see Io start to target the injured, or not injured, as they would say back in the day, the medically repaired shoulder of Rhea Ripley. She's targeting the medically repaired shoulder of Rhea Ripley.
Yes, the shoulder that has a history of past injuries and has also been worked on a little bit with some submissions through this match because Io decided to pay tribute to her damage control compatriots and perform one of each of the other members' signatures with Kairi's running knee. She did an Asuka lock, and I forget what she did to Rep Dakota.
I don't know. But we start to get towards the end of the match where Rhea somehow pulls out 2 electric chair face busters. One to the apron and then one to the announce table.
Yep.
And Rhea, like a good wrestler, face or heel, rolls back into the ring.
Yep.
Start that count. Can't lose my belt.
Yep.
Because champion's advantage. And then Io. It looked like Bianca was going to get involved, but she didn't.
Nope.
Bianca's just cheering her on.
Yeah, she's like, come on, Io. Come on, Io. And we get to the count of 9. And,
Io jumps in.
Yep.
Breaks the count.
But Rhea witnessed the whole scene, looks Bianca dead in the face, walks out of the ring, and is like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
You don't want to face me at Mania?
Yeah. Getting too cocky. And she goes back in.
Yeah.
Tries to hit the avalanche riptide.
Yeah. Well, something the internet is still discussing is that Rhea and Bianca do get in a bit of a shove off, a bit of an altercation. The ref comes out, and the ref made it apparent of, this is a title match. I don't want to end this in a DQ.
We'll discuss that afterwards. But no DQ happened between Bianca pushing Rhea pushing Bianca. Rhea then gets back into the ring to hit the avalanche riptide. Hurricane Rana over the moonsault. 1, 2, 3. And new Women's World Champion Io Sky is going on to WrestleMania. to face Bianca Belair.
The third world title change on a weekly in 2 months.
I think because there was no DQ from Bianca pushing, this is how we get Rhea inserted back in for a triple threat match because I think that's the obvious plan.
Yes.
Rhea on the outside of the ring, calling herself stupid.
Yes.
And you did a stupid move. You got too cocky.
But after the credits roll and the cameras turn off, if you follow WWE on YouTube or other social media platforms, you will see that Rhea had a post-show interview backstage where she says, like, listen, this loss is my own fault. I got in my own head because I decided to get it through my head that I have friends, but none of the friendships I have made have been real, even the Zia one. I don't have a friendship with Liv anymore because we've seen how that's turned out. I don't have Dom anymore. I don't have the Judgment Day anymore. I don't even have my Terror Twin Damien anymore since he's on SmackDown. For the first time since I've come to the main roster, I am all alone.
I mean, I'm a big fan of her, but that's what happens. When you come in with the group, that's what happens. All right, she'd even come in with the group. She was already on the main roster, but like, that's what happens. Like, at some point, you're gonna end up alone. Damien's making it work.
Yeah.
But hey, there's still plenty of time to see. Like Jackie said, at the end of that, there's 6 weeks till Mania, so we'll see. I'm pretty sure Rhea's gonna get put back in there.
Mm-hmm.
After this, I want to see Rhea continue to do stuff on her own, but I think Raw has outgrown her. But if you put her back on SmackDown, you involve her with Damien again, and then there goes that isolation. So, don't know. I think she's not winning it back at Mania. I think we see either Io retain or Bianca win. And, but, yeah, that's it for this episode of Raw.
Subject matter that has been brought up due to the fact that we are done with the Road to WrestleMania PLEs. Now we just have weeklies built up. There is a superstar that has been advertised in commercials and other media that has yet to make their return that the internet is discussing. Are there any plans? Becky Lynch.
No.
No plans?
The only plans I see is if they do a mixed tag at Mania. Her and Seth versus Punk and Lee. I don't know.
You think it's a little too late?
It's not even that it's a little too late. It's just, it's up to Becky. She famously left at around January.
Yeah, it was after she lost at...
No, actually. No. It was January of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, January of 2024, because then Liv took the title. No.
It was
after.
It was a Saudi show. It was not... I think it was Queen of the Ring. Queen of the Ring.
I can't remember exactly when she left, but she left sometime during the summer. Her contract elapsed. It's just up to her. I mean, I wouldn't, if I was her, I wouldn't mind taking all the time that I could off.
She has mentioned that I believe they agreed on an extension, but not an active,
as far as I know, that she's off the books. She's a free agent, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
But time shall tell now about the game. 2K25 releases this Saturday for early access. We are looking to get it. So, for early access, so the earliest you could potentially see gameplay footage is like 9th through 11th. Probably be going over My Rise. And we'll see from there. I might have Trevin do the island. Might have him check that out. I'm gonna check out the
Yeah.
island.
Expect some my GM content from us. Maybe turn it into a competition.
Oh yeah. I'm very much going to make a separate account on the Xbox for Disqualified because I am going to not put the game down the moment I get my hands on it.
Yeah.
I am going to be all over that game. The only thing is I'm struggling. I don't want to do My Rise, but I want to do My Rise because I will blow through it on my own time and I will be spoiled. But I'll probably do a maybe 2 separate playthroughs. I don't know. We're figuring this out.
Expect content.
Expect content. Yeah, definitely, for sure. But
when in doubt, expect content.
yeah, other things in the pipeline. April 14th is when I plan on recording it, so I will just get the news out now. Punishment Jeopardy will be happening the week of Mania.
Yeah, 2 people shall be pardoned of their gathered up punishments. 1 shall still receive them.
I really hope it's not me because it'd be funny if the champion gets punished, but I will do whatever I need because this championship means the most to me. You treated it with disrespect, wearing it around your neck and displaying it on a filthy table.
You said I couldn't wear it around my neck anymore.
Because it didn't look good on camera.
You said it's because the mic couldn't pick me up all the time.
That was Gordon.
Yeah.
I said it didn't look good on camera. But that is neither here nor there. This has been it for this episode of Disqualified. We will see you tomorrow, Wednesday, for when this comes up, and Thursday for NXT review. But yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell 3 times so you know the match is over. This has been Caleb, Trevin, no one behind the camera. Ooh, it started itself.
Buttons.
But we shall see you later. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and peace.
Bye.